There are moments in history when the winds change, when the ground beneath our feet quivers, and the air itself hums with a force unseen but deeply felt. You can sense it in the way the nights grow restless, in the way the sun rises with an urgency as if it too knows something is coming. It is in the hushed conversations of the old folks who have seen many seasons turn, in the quiet prayers of the weary who have waited too long for a breakthrough. It is in the sighs of the hopeful and the tremble of the doubtful. A shift is near. A great movement is stirring. And if you are not careful, if you do not open your eyes, your heart, your very soul, you may miss it. There is a divine rhythm to life, an unseen conductor guiding the melody of existence. And when the notes begin to change, when the old tune fades and a new song begins, only those who are listening can move in step with it. The world has known stagnation. The world has known waiting. The world has known delay. But the season of hesitation is coming to an end. Something mighty is on the horizon. Something that will shake the dust off forgotten dreams and call the weary back to life. The question is, will you recognize it? Will you be ready when the doors swing open, when the floodgates burst forth, when the impossible bends its knee to the inevitable? You have felt the weight of time pressing down on you, the long nights where your prayers seemed to vanish into silence. You have known disappointment, promises that felt like mirages, just beyond your grasp. But just when the night is at its darkest, just when the silence feels eternal, that is when the shift begins. It does not come with loud trumpets or flashing signs. It comes like the first light of dawn, soft but undeniable, unstoppable in its advance. The question is, will you rise with it? Will you step into what is coming, or will you sleep through the awakening? Life has a way of lulling people into comfort, into sameness, into the predictable rhythm of days that blend together. It tricks you into thinking that where you are is where you will always be. It whispers lies in your ear, telling you that change is slow, that transformation is rare, that miracles are for stories, not for real lives. But there are moments, rare and precious, when the rules are broken, when what took years suddenly happens in days, when doors that never budged fly open without warning, when the weight you have carried so long suddenly lifts, and you realize that the chains that held you were never as strong as you believed. A shift is coming, a great and mighty turning, and those who awake, those who are watching, will step into it and be changed forever. The seasons of delay are ending. The chains of stagnation are being broken. The prayers that seem to hang unanswered in the heavens are being gathered, prepared for an outpouring like never before. There are some who will laugh, who will scoff, who will dismiss the signs. They will cling to the past, to their fears, to the comfort of what they have known. But those who are willing to let go, those who are willing to move, will walk into a season so full of promise, so overflowing with possibility, that they will barely recognize their own lives. Look around you. The signs are there. The ground is shifting beneath your feet. Old doors are creaking on their hinges, ready to swing wide. The things you thought were over, the dreams you thought had died, the purpose you thought had been buried, none of it is finished. The hands of time are turning back, and what was lost is being restored, but only for those who are ready. Only for those who are watching. Do not be like those who let opportunity slip through their fingers because it did not come in the package they expected. Do not be like those who mistake the unfamiliar for the impossible. The greatest moments of transformation often come wrapped in uncertainty, in discomfort, in the kind of stretching that makes you question everything. But if you resist the pull of the familiar, if you lean into the unknown with courage, you will find yourself in the midst of something so much greater than you ever imagined. There are doors that have been closed for generations, doors that no key could unlock, doors that have rusted with time and hopelessness, and yet they are about to open. There are barriers that have stood firm for years, unmovable, impenetrable, and yet they are about to fall. The shift is not coming for the passive. It is not coming for those who have resigned themselves to fate. It is coming for the bold, for the seekers, for those who have been waiting with expectation, even in the silence. The time of waiting is over. The time of watching is here. What you do in this moment will determine what you step into in the next. Will you be among those who rise with the dawn, who embrace the unknown, who walk through the doors that are opening? Or will you cling to the old, to the past, to the illusion of safety that has kept you bound? The choice is yours. The moment is now. A major shift is coming. Do not miss what is about to happen. Life has a way of keeping people in cycles, in familiar patterns, in the known and the predictable. It is easy to settle into a rhythm where each day mirrors the one before it, where dreams become distant echoes, and hope turns into a whisper barely heard above the noise of everyday life. But just because something has been one way for a long time does not mean it will always be so. The river that has followed the same path for generations can suddenly carve a new course. The tree that has stood bare through endless winters can suddenly bloom overnight. The ground that has been dry and cracked can burst forth with life after one mighty rain. A shift is coming, and it will not wait for those who hesitate. It will not slow its pace for those who cling to comfort. It will move like a mighty wind, sweeping through the places where doubt once ruled, lifting those who are ready and leaving behind those who are too afraid to step into the unknown. Change does not ask for permission. It does not announce itself with gentle warnings. It arrives suddenly, swiftly, like the turning of a tide, like the breaking of dawn, like a storm that clears the air and leaves behind a new world. There are people who have been walking in darkness for too long, believing that this is all there is, that the burdens they carry are permanent, that the weight on their shoulders is theirs to bear forever. They have grown accustomed to struggle, made peace with limitations, accepted broken dreams as their reality. But they do not realize that the ground beneath them is shifting. The chains they thought were unbreakable are already cracking. The walls they thought were immovable are already weakening. What they have called the end is merely a pause before something greater. What they have mistaken for failure is just the waiting room of transformation. The greatest changes often come in moments that seem ordinary. A single conversation, a chance encounter, an unexpected opportunity can turn the course of a life forever, and yet so many miss it because they are too focused on the past, too distracted by their fears, too convinced that nothing will ever change. But those who have been waiting, those who have kept their hearts open, those who have prepared even when nothing seemed to be happening, these are the ones who will step into the new, the ones who will walk through doors that once seemed locked, the ones who will see what others dismissed as impossible. Do not let what has been blind you to what is coming. Do not let past disappointments convince you that the future holds nothing more than the same. Do not let fear of the unknown keep you bound to a place you were never meant to stay. The world is full of those who miss their moment, who let doubt rob them of destiny, who let hesitation steal what was meant for them. But it does not have to be that way. The door is swinging open. The way is being cleared. The time is now. There are some who will feel the shift, but will refuse to move. They will sense the change, but will not trust it. They will see the signs, but will turn away, unwilling to step beyond what is familiar. But for those who dare, for those who trust, for those who take even the smallest step forward, the road ahead is one of restoration, of abundance, of joy they never thought possible. Think of the seeds buried in the earth, unseen, forgotten, pressed beneath the weight of soil and time. They do not look like much. They do not seem to be growing. But beneath the surface, in the darkness where no one can see, something is happening. Roots are spreading, strength is being built, and then suddenly, without warning, a sprout breaks through. The waiting was not in vain. The unseen work was not wasted. What looked like silence was actually preparation. So it is with those who have been waiting, those who have been faithful, those who have not let time steal their expectation. The shift is not just coming for the world, it is coming for you. The opportunities that seemed beyond reach, the dreams that felt too big, the restoration that seemed impossible, all of it is within grasp. But it will take faith, it will take courage, it will take the willingness to move when the moment arrives. There are voices that will try to keep you where you are, voices that will tell you it is safer to stay, that stepping out is too risky, that change is too uncertain. But those voices do not see what is coming. They do not know the doors that are about to open, the paths that are about to be made clear, the breakthroughs that are about to unfold. Do not let the voices of fear drown out the call of destiny. Do not let the noise of doubt keep you from hearing the sound of opportunity knocking. Some will say they need more proof before they move. They will wait for certainty, for guarantees, for a sign so clear that there is no risk of failure. But that is not how shifts happen. They do not come with neat instructions, with maps that detail every step, with promises that everything will be easy. They come with a whisper, a nudge, a knowing deep within that says, now is the time. And those who trust that knowing, those who move even when they cannot see the whole picture, those who take the first step even when the rest of the path is hidden, those are the ones who will walk into the new, the ones who will taste the fruit of change, the ones who will see what others only dream of. It is easy to look back and see the moments when others stepped into something great. It is easy to admire those who took chances, who embraced change, who walked through the doors that opened before them. But today, right now, the shift is not just happening for someone else. It is happening for you. The call is not just for others. It is for you. The opportunity is not just for those you admire. It is for you. Do not stand at the edge of something great and let fear hold you back. Do not hesitate while the moment passes you by. Do not let doubt steal what is meant for you. This is your time. The shift is here. The doors are opening. The impossible is becoming possible, and those who are ready, those who are watching, those who are willing to move, will step into something far greater than they ever imagined. There are moments in life when time itself seems to quicken, when what once took years happens in mere days, when the impossible bends itself into the possible with little warning. It is in these moments that destinies are shaped, that lives are rewritten, that stories take a turn so unexpected it leaves even the strongest among us breathless. But these moments do not come for everyone. They do not unfold for those who sit in comfort, unwilling to move, unwilling to trust, unwilling to stretch beyond the safety of the known. They come for those who are ready. They come for those who have been waiting, those who have been preparing, those who have been watching the horizon even when there was nothing yet to see. A shift is not a slow, gentle thing. It is a force that moves suddenly, sweeping aside what was to make room for what is to come. And in that moment of movement, everything is decided. The ones who are awake, the ones who have been listening, the ones who have been expecting, these are the ones who step into the new. But the ones who hesitate, the ones who second guess, the ones who wait until certainty wraps itself around them like a warm blanket, they are the ones who watch from a distance as the door swings shut once more. Opportunities do not linger. They do not wait for fear to subside, for doubt to dissolve, for everything to align neatly in perfect order. They arrive like the morning sun, bright and full of promise. But those who stay asleep miss its first light. And by the time they wake, the moment has already passed. The window has already closed. The shift has already moved forward without them. There are seasons in life when the ground beneath us trembles, when everything we thought was steady begins to shake, when the walls we leaned on for so long begin to crack. These are not moments of destruction. They are moments of transformation. They are the signs that what was is being torn down to make room for what is coming. But too many mistake the shaking for a warning when it is actually an invitation. They see the breaking as a loss when it is really a clearing away of what no longer belongs. You have felt it, you have sensed it. In the quiet hours when no one is watching, you have known that something is stirring, something beyond your understanding, something greater than you can see. You have felt the restlessness, the urging, the whisper that tells you not to settle, not to accept, not to let go of the vision placed deep within you. But the question remains, will you act? Will you trust? Will you move when the moment comes? There are those who will hear of the shift and dismiss it. They will laugh at the thought of sudden change, at the idea that life can turn so quickly. They will rely on their reasoning, their logic, their calculations of time and probability. But history does not belong to the cautious. It does not favor those who cling to safety. It remembers those who dared, those who moved, those who stepped into the unknown because they believed there was something greater waiting on the other side. You do not have to understand everything to take the first step. You do not have to see the full picture to walk forward. If the soil demands to see the tree before it allows the seed to be planted, nothing will ever grow. If the night demands proof of the morning before it allows the sun to rise, darkness will never end. Some things must be stepped into before they are seen. Some doors must be walked through before their purpose is understood. Too many people wait for certainty, for every question to be answered, for every possibility of failure to be erased. But certainty is a luxury of the past, not of the future. The ones who step into new seasons, the ones who walk into shifts that change their lives forever, do so with faith, not with guarantees. They move because they sense the call, because they know deep within that staying where they are is no longer an option. Think of the ones who came before you, the ones who dared to step into something new, who walked away from the familiar because they believed in something greater. They were no different from you. They had doubts. They had fears. They had moments when the weight of the unknown pressed heavy upon them, but they moved anyway. And because they moved, they stepped into lives beyond their wildest imagination. They walked through doors they never could have opened on their own. They found themselves in places they never thought they would stand. Do not let hesitation be your downfall. Do not let fear be the thing that keeps you from stepping into the shift that is coming. There are moments in life that will never come again, windows that will never open twice, doors that will not remain unlocked forever. And when those moments arrive, you will either walk through them or watch them pass you by. This is not a time for passivity. This is not a season for waiting. This is a moment of action, of movement, of stepping forward, even when the ground still feels uncertain beneath your feet. The ones who embrace the shift will find themselves walking into a life they never imagined. The ones who let it pass will find themselves standing in the same place, watching from a distance as others take hold of what could have been theirs. You have spent too long waiting, too long wondering, too long questioning. The time for that has passed. The shift is not coming, it is here. The change is not far away, it is now. And those who are ready, those who are willing, those who are bold enough to move will be the ones who see what others only dream of. There is a stirring in the air, a movement unseen but deeply felt, a shift that cannot be ignored. It is not something that can be measured with the eyes alone, not something that can be explained by logic or reason. It is the kind of shift that happens in the unseen places first, in the quiet before the breakthrough, in the waiting before the floodgates open. Many have felt it, but have dismissed it as a passing thought, a fleeting moment of hope, a wishful dream. But what is coming is not a dream, it is not an illusion. It is real, and it is moving with force, with power, with undeniable certainty. Those who are awake to it will recognize the signs, the subtle changes in the atmosphere, the way doors that were once sealed shut are beginning to creak open, the way paths that were once hidden are suddenly being revealed. But there are others who will miss it, not because it was not meant for them, but because they chose to ignore the call. They were too caught up in distractions, too burdened by yesterday, too fearful of tomorrow to realize that the moment they had been waiting for had already arrived. This shift does not announce itself with fanfare. It does not wait for the perfect moment. It comes when it is time, and those who are ready will move with it, while those who are not will watch it pass them by. It is easy to say, I will move when I see the full picture. It is easy to say, I will take the step when everything makes sense. But shifts do not come with instructions. They do not arrive with a neatly packaged guarantee of success. They require trust. They require the kind of faith that steps forward even when the ground is not yet visible. The ones who walk into the shift are not the ones who had all the answers. They are the ones who dared to believe, who dared to move, who dared to trust that what was ahead was greater than what was behind. Some will resist the shift because they have become too comfortable in the struggle. They have worn their burdens for so long that they no longer know who they are without them. They have lived in the shadows for so many years that the thought of stepping into the light feels overwhelming. They have settled into places they were never meant to stay, convinced that their best days are behind them. But the shift is coming for them too. It is shaking the foundations, breaking the chains, disrupting the comfort of familiarity. It is calling them out of the places where they have been stuck, out of the cycles that have kept them bound, out of the patterns that have stolen their joy. The question is not whether the shift will come. The question is whether they will respond when it does. It is dangerous to assume that there will always be another chance, another moment, another opportunity. There are doors that only open once. There are seasons that will not return. There are moments that, if missed, will never come again. And too many have lived their lives waiting, hoping, watching from the sidelines, believing that tomorrow will always bring another chance. But what if this is the moment? What if this is the door? What if this is the shift that was meant to change everything? The ones who embrace the shift will see what others cannot. They will walk through doors that others never noticed. They will step into opportunities that others overlooked. They will move with a confidence that others do not understand, because they know that what is coming is greater than anything they have left behind. There is no room for hesitation now. There is no space for doubt. The time for waiting has passed. This is a moment of action, a moment of movement, a moment of stepping into the unknown with the certainty that something greater awaits on the other side. The shift will not be gentle. It will not come quietly. It will shake everything that is not built on a firm foundation. It will remove everything that was never meant to last. It will clear away what has been blocking the way. And for those who have been waiting, for those who have been expecting, for those who have been preparing, this is the moment they have been waiting for. It is time to let go of what has been, time to release the burdens that were never meant to be carried, time to walk away from the fears that have held you back for too long. The shift is not coming to harm you. It is coming to position you. It is coming to lift you. It is coming to bring you into places you never thought you would stand. Do not let the voices of doubt talk you out of what is meant for you. Do not let fear rob you of your future. Do not let hesitation keep you trapped in a season that is already over. The shift is happening now. The only question is, will you move with it? There is a stirring so deep that even those who have tried to ignore it can feel its presence. It is a shift that has been building in the silence, waiting for the moment when the appointed time would arrive. It does not come with a whisper. It does not come with a polite knock on the door. It comes with a force so great that it will upend everything that is not built on solid ground. It comes to remove, to restore, to realign, to bring forth what has been hidden for far too long. The ones who have been waiting in the shadows, the ones who have felt forgotten, the ones who have wondered if their time would ever come. This is for them. The shift is not selective to the powerful, to the privileged, to those who have walked paths of ease and comfort. No, this shift is for the weary, for the ones who have held on despite the storms, for the ones who have kept believing, even when every voice around them told them to give up. It is for the ones who have been misunderstood, overlooked, set aside, the ones who have been hidden in places where no one thought to look. It is for them. But not all will embrace it. Some will resist, clinging tightly to what was, afraid to step into what will be. They will hold on to the familiar, even as it crumbles in their hands. They will look back, longing for the past, unable to see that the past no longer has anything left to offer them. The weight of yesterday will be too heavy for them to carry into tomorrow, and yet they will try, dragging it behind them until it slows them down, until it holds them back, until they are unable to move forward. The ones who move with a shift will be the ones who are willing to release what is no longer meant for them. They will let go of relationships that have expired, mindsets that have limited them, fears that have kept them bound. They will step out of the prisons they have built for themselves, the ones made of doubt and hesitation, the ones made of voices that told them they were not enough. They will shake off every label that was placed on them by those who never understood their worth. This is not a moment for hesitation. This is not a season for waiting. The ones who are ready must move now. The ones who sense what is coming must prepare themselves. There will not be time to gather what was left behind. There will not be time to second guess. The door is open now, but it will not remain open forever. And those who do not walk through it will find themselves on the outside, wondering what could have been, wishing they had moved when they had the chance. Some will look around and see nothing changing yet, and they will doubt. They will say, where is the shift? Where is the evidence? But the greatest movements do not always begin with great signs. They begin with a quiet stirring, a feeling in the depths, a knowing that cannot be explained. The ones who move before they see will be the ones who step into what others will only witness from a distance. It has never been about what the eyes can see. It has never been about what makes sense. The greatest moments in history have always belonged to those who were willing to walk before they could fully understand the path. The ones who stepped into the unknown, not because they had every answer, but because they knew they could not stay where they were. The ones who moved not because they were fearless, but because they refused to let fear decide their future. This shift is not just about stepping into something new. It is about leaving behind what no longer serves you. It is about refusing to stay in places that drain your strength, in environments that stifle your growth, in cycles that keep repeating themselves with no end in sight. It is about knowing that you were meant for more and refusing to accept anything less. There are too many who have been sitting in waiting rooms, believing that their time has not yet come. They have watched others walk into their moment. They have seen doors open for people around them, and they have convinced themselves that perhaps they were not chosen, that perhaps they were meant to stay where they are. But this shift is not passing them by. This shift is for them too. The ones who have been faithful in the quiet, the ones who have been steady in the storm, the ones who have kept believing even when there was no evidence to hold on to. It will not look the way they expected. It will not come in the way they imagined. It will not follow the plan they carefully laid out. But that is the nature of a shift. It comes in ways that the mind cannot predict. It happens suddenly, breaking through in moments that seemed ordinary, turning things around when there was no warning. It does not move on human timing. It does not wait for permission. It comes when it is meant to come, and those who are ready will step into it. This is the moment for boldness, the moment to take the step you have been afraid to take, the moment to say yes when everything in you wants to hesitate, the moment to release every excuse, every reason, every justification that has kept you stuck, the moment to trust that what is ahead is far greater than anything you are leaving behind. There will be those who do not understand your movement. There will be those who question why you are changing, why you are stepping out, why you are walking away from the places you once called home. They will not see what you see. They will not feel what you feel. But their understanding is not required for you to move forward. Their approval is not necessary for you to step into the shift. This is not about them. This is about you, about your journey, about your purpose, about stepping into the life you were meant to live. Do not let the fear of the unknown keep you from walking into the greatest season of your life. Do not let the comfort of familiarity rob you of what has been prepared for you. Do not let the weight of past failures convince you that the future will be no different. This is not a time to look back. This is not a time to stand still. The shift is here. It is happening now. And the only thing left to do is decide, will you move with it or will you watch it happen from the sideline? The shift is not waiting for permission. It is not asking who is ready and who is not. It is moving with or without those who hesitate. This is the moment where choices matter, where decisions shape destinies. There is no more time to dwell in fear, no more space for hesitation. The doors that are opening now will not remain open forever. Those who are bold enough to walk forward will step into a season unlike any before, one of restoration, of elevation, of divine alignment. But those who refuse to move will find themselves stuck in cycles that were never meant to last. The time for waiting has passed. The moment for action is now. The shift is here, undeniable and unstoppable. The question remains, will you embrace it, step forward with courage and claim what has been prepared for you, or will you watch it pass you by?